Hello, Supercoaches. It is the final week of the regular season. The race is on for the overall, the 50K. And on the panel today, we have a man who won the 50K a few years ago in 2021. Tim Moodie, how's your team travelling?
Yeah, not as good as back then. Ranked about 2000th at the moment.
Still very, very good.
It's not bad. I can't get my captain right at all. Every week I fail to get it right and still hovering around there. So I think I'd be going better if I could just get that part. Looking forward to SuperCoach finals.
Yes.
That's where you've got to get your captains right. So it's a little bit of a test for me to try fix that up before next season.
Yeah, SuperCoach finals has launched. You can sign up now. Triple for captain and double for vice captain. So that's one of the big rule tweaks for this year. Savs is here as well from the SuperCoach. How are you travelling?
Yeah, not good at all. I think this is my worst ending to a season ever. I usually run a bare ship at the end of the year with no trades. And last week, I think I went with 16 players, including Royce Hunt and Charlie Geimer. So that's how bad I'm going at the moment. But the silver lining is Jesse Ramian returns for me this week. So
Jesse Ramian, how good.
I've been pretty much 2,000th all year.
Yeah.
I'm now 8,000th, which I do hold my head high that my standards are high, but the fact that I'm going to drop below 10,000th potentially it's not good enough.
Giving yourself a rev up there. I like it. At least you got SuperCoach finals to build up some momentum in the off season. For me, I've just got into the 4,000s. I've been hanging around the 5,000s for a long time. So just into the 4,000s. It's 4,900 and something, but I'm claiming 4,000s because it sounds a lot better. But I've got to trade up my sleeve, so hopefully I can make up some ground in this final round.
You can even say top 4,000, like the top of the 4,000, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can just swing it whichever way you want. It's journalism. Sorry, you were going to say.
No, I wasn't going to say anything.
Oh, right. I was going to say, how many trades you got?
Oh, yeah, big fat zero. I used my last one on Drinky to Walsh a couple of weeks ago, and it's played out all right. I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. 0.
Yeah.
Still, I think the last time I come on the podcast, I was 1.
Yeah, so, like that was what, a month ago?
So we're struggling here.
On to the big team takeaways. Heaps of team news to get through. Relatively good news on the resting. What's yours?
Oh, the takeaway. I think just the fact that the Storm are playing a relatively strong side, it means that, you know, if the Broncos were to go up against an easier side, there'd be a bigger sway in what's going to happen, because if the Broncos lose, then that means that the Wars and the Sharks still have something to play for in top 4. So, yeah, that keeps it a bit more alive. Hopefully the Storm beat them for SuperCoach.
Yeah, it's good to see Eli Katoa particularly back into that team. What's your bigger takeaway from the teams?
Penrith have named a full-strength squad, and I'm looking at targeting teams that... not that I have trades or anything, but I'm looking at targeting teams that have nothing to play for against sides that are willing to throw the ball around, and I think Penrith versus St George is a good matchup. Yeah,
great matchup. That's why guys like Cleary, Dylan Edwards, very popular this week and will be popular in captaincy as well. For me, there's a fair bit of resting going on, but the main resting is happening at the Raiders, who of course wrapped up the minor premiership over the weekend. A whole bunch of guys rested, but Hudson Young is probably the biggest one. I think the big positive though is that Corey Horsburgh, Big Red, who's still pretty popular in SuperCoach teams, he's been named captain, so you'd think he plays massive minutes this week.
Yeah, I started with him, and he hasn't left my team all year just because of dual flexibility. Scored really well last week, so stoked with that, and glad he's playing again. Yeah,
not good that Hudson Young's not in the team, but still, I can still field a decent team this week. Some of the other things we're going to run through, Kyo Weeks is one of the guys rested at the Raiders. Kiraz is obviously out for around 4 weeks, so might not play again this year unless the Bulldogs make it to the grand final. Eli Katoa and Jerome Hughes is back at the Storm. Herbie Farnworth on an extended bench, so he could be a risky buy to replace Kiraz. Bulldogs have basically not rested any players. The Storm are looking pretty good. There's lots to get through in today's teams. But first of all, last week of the year, if you're going to pull a big pod move this round, what would it be, Tim?
I kind of like Herbie if the cards fall that he will need to play. He's only going to play if the Dolphins have anything to play for, which might be a rare scenario.
Yeah.
You can see how that plays out. I just feel like if they need to win, they're going to need to win by a certain amount of points, and he's the type of guy that's going to want to chuck a cape on and be a hero.
Yeah.
And I think he'd be able to do it, even if he's semi on one leg. But I think if he's semi, if he's named, he'll be right to go.
Yeah, so the Roosters would have to lose for him to be an option of playing. What's your big pod for this week?
Gehamat Shibasaki. Oh,
Yeah.
wait, sorry, he's not named.
He's...
Tolu Kula. Actually, he's not named either. Hudson, no. I think we'll go Dream Buller against the Titans. I want to, if you're targeting someone, I think you're going to target a side that has nothing to play for. So I'm looking at the Manly matchup. It looks really good against the Wires, but they still have something to play for this year. They want to get lots of cohesion going into the finals. So I think a side like the Tigers playing the Titans, we saw the Dolphins play the Titans last week. It was just try for try.
Yeah.
That's the kind of footy we want to see this weekend for our SuperCoach side.
I 100% agree. That is the matchup to target this week, but I'm going for a bloke on the other side. Keanu Kinney, named at fullback, which is huge. So he's returned from that serious neck injury, firstly through the reserves and then off the bench, but now at fullback this week in what is basically a must-win game for them. If they win that, they could avoid the spoon. So I'm thinking the Titans will go nuts this weekend. Kinney's a good option. Maybe even chuck the C on Jaden Campbell in that clash as well. As we mentioned, SuperCoach Finals has launched. Sign up now. That will be happening from next week. It's our short format game for the 4 weeks of the final series. NFL is starting in what, Frank? 2 days, I think. So sign up for that. And then EPL is absolutely flying into about the 3rd week as well. Broncos v the Storm is the first clash of the week. No Gehamat Shibasaki, stood down for disciplinary reasons. So that could be an issue. He's still a relatively popular player for SuperCoach.
Yeah, it's pretty harsh on the people that held this long. Just expecting a number this week. So hopefully it doesn't stunt the Broncos finals hopes.
Well, it's a big call because if they win, they make the top 4, essentially. So a big call to drop an Origin player for this round. Reece Walsh, he's popular this week. 4 big tons in 5 games. The only down game was that 20-odd when they had all the injuries with Reynolds, etc.
Against the Melbourne Storm.
But it's against, that's the thing.
You'd think the Storm are going to really want to try and, get their stuff right going into finals and be playing their best. But I think Walsh could still go well, like if he's good at putting the wingers away. And that's where Storm week all their points is, to the wingers. So I can see Walsh still going pretty well.
Yeah, VC on Walsh for me, but certainly don't go to straight C on him. Onto the Storm, so no real resting there. Stefano Udakamanu has been rested and Sean Bloor, but neither are particularly SuperCoach relevant. So we've got Ellie Katoa back, which is huge news, and Jerome Hughes back as well. Any thought of a sneaky pod pick on him?
The Broncos are going too good for my liking.
Yeah.
To want to target him, but I think he'll want to make a statement. I know in this coinciding game last year, he scored 187, so there's a lot to like about it.
Right, yeah, I'm a bit worried about that dislocated shoulder as well. By the sounds of it, he's certainly not 100% fit. They need to get a game under his belt to build up some confidence, and then he'll be playing injured during the finals. The Storm, though, I think they're going to come out pretty hard because Bellamy absolutely unleashed on them after they conceded 40 points just in the second half against the Roosters last week.
I think Cameron Munster probably gets an early rest in this game if they do, because he's probably the only star that hasn't had a proper rest in the games the last few weeks.
Sea Eagles v the Warriors, so Tolu Kula is out. Tommy Turbo is the most purchased player. I'm not sure if I quite see this one because I don't think the Sea Eagles really have anything to play for. I'm ruling them out of the finals. It's mathematically a chance, but they'd have to score about 100 points to make it happen.
It would be great for SuperCoach if it worked out that they were mathematically a chance. So if the Rabbitohs beat the Roosters by, let's say, 20 points, I'm excited for that game because Manly need to put on 60 to make the finals, and I think they'll give it every crack.
Yep. So you've got Turbo on your team.
I do, yeah.
VC, C, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I'll put the VC on. Maybe I'll put the VC on Teddy potentially. But then there's also Nathan Cleary. So Yeah, I guess I'll just have to wait and see how the week plays out.
Joey Walsh is going to debut for them. He's a cheapie to watch for the future. Looks like he will play from the bench, so he will get limited minutes, which means his price won't skyrocket for next year, which is good news for super coaches. DCE, any love for him? I know you owned him at some stage this year, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. It's his last game for Manly, so at 4 points, 157 last week. He's in good form. He's goal kicking.
Yeah.
He's a pretty good option.
I can see him wanting to go out with a bang and have a nice final memory. And I don't see why they can't score well against the Wars. I know the Wars are like a final side and a top 4 side, but they're sort of not looking the greatest. Para, beat them last week, put 26 points on them. So unless they sort some of that out, if Manly are really on their game, they could, with their attacking footy, they could open a can and whoop ass.
On to the Warriors. RTS, 28 runs last week. He's scoring tries. It's been a great little pod over the last little bit, but it's a toughest matchup at 4 pints this game.
Yeah, it is, but I think the attack has been going his way, and 2 tons in the last 2 weeks is career best nearly for him on the wing at least. So yeah, he's a good option. I probably wouldn't buy him in though.
I don't mind him. I sort of liked him more the last couple of weeks, but there's probably other guys I'd prefer over him this week that are centre wings.
Onto the Chooks. So Sam Walker is back from concussion. For them, they can lock in a top 8 spot if they win this game. So I think they're going to go all out. So guys like Sam Walker should go well. Tedesco, I think, will be a popular captain up against the Rabbitohs, who they're not going that well this season, but recently they've gone okay. They're coming off the bye, and it's the Foundation Derby, the big rivalry. So I actually think this will be a pretty
always
close
just
game.
sort of equal out, regardless of where they're at on the ladders. They just sort of play at the same level for 80 minutes usually in these sorts of games. So see what happens.
Yeah, so I'm a bit worried about Teddy as captain. Yourself?
Yeah.
I don't mind him as a vice captain.
Yeah.
I think I might be doing vice captain because I could still see him sort of doing his thing.
Yeah.
Him being the guy that sort of gets them over the line. But yeah, I'm not really sold on. There's no one really particularly jumping out for me. I think I might have my captain lined in, but I don't. We're not doing that yet. Oh yeah.
No. So just tell us now while we're talking.
I think I like my captain as Lomax, just without. I'm getting my captains wrong week in, week out, so don't jump on it with me. But I think that's where I'm at the moment. I might have to look at it more because I have been getting it wrong so consistently. But I think that's where I like it for this round.
Lomax in the final game of the round in a decent matchup. I like. On to Marky Mark is the second most purchased player. Yeah. I've owned him for quite a while, and you get lots of 30s, and then the next week you get 130. So the average is pretty good, but week by week it's so up and down.
And I strongly advise against it because all those lower scores and higher scores coincide with Sam Walker being in the side.
Right.
And I think they'll just go left again. I think he will roam this game. He has roamed when the game has got away from them, but I don't think he'll see as much ball than he did last week. I think Daniel Tupou is probably the better pod option for this week, especially Jack White and Alex Johnson are pretty defensively good on the left. Yep. The other side is the side they'll target.
Yep.
I don't mind him. I just think, as much as I think the game will be competitive, I still think there'll be a lot of points in it. I think there'll be a lot of passion. I still think there could be a lot of points. So I don't mind him. I sold him a while ago for Ronnie, and it was looking really scary. And then lucky Ronnie scored pretty close to him on the weekend, so it didn't hurt me as much. Would have been good to have both of them, though.
At the Rabbitohs, we got Cameron Murray back, but it's on the bench, so presumably reduced minutes for him, which could mean he'll be at a pretty decent price for next year. We'll be revealing the team picker in mid to late December, so look out for that. On to the Dragons with the Panthers. At the Dragons, there is nothing doing Supercoach-wise. So let's just skip to the Panthers. Lots doing there. They've got all their rested players back from last week. Dylan Edwards is very popular. I can go Drinkwater to him. I'm thinking I'll just lock it in. It's a good matchup. I know it's at WIN Stadium, and it can be a bit tough there if the wind is picked up. I still think the Panthers will be ready for this one. This is a full-on finals dress rehearsal. I think they'll go well in this game. So Cleary, Edwards, both captaincy options.
I 100% agree, but at the same time, it does scare me if they get out to an early lead. The likes of Cleary, Yeo, Edwards. Are they going to get an early rest? I'm not sure how that's going to play out, but that's the only thing holding me back from going all in on them.
At the Titans, that's the West Tigers. So they've got Carter Gordon and Cooper Bye. Cooper Bye is the son of Marcus Bye, and Carter Gordon has played for the Wallabies before. So if he's even a half or a quarter of a Mark Nawonga-Nitawazi, he could be a decent player for the Titans. They both debut. The thing I want to point out for is that they're playing to avoid the wooden spoon. I think Jaden Campbell goes nuts, and as I mentioned before, Keanu Kinney could be the pot of the week.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, I think this game could have... The thing is that I think this would be perfect matchup normally. Just the Tigers have been, pretty elite the last few weeks. So
I look at the Tigers as a pretty tricky matchup. They're like the Parramatta Eels at the moment. I think they've got a lot to play for. They're building into something, it feels.
Seems like a nice game to captain, but then like all the guys you'd kind of want to captain are on the other side of the players you have, like Jaden Campbell or... For me, Brimson, stuff like that. But, yeah, I don't know. I think there'll be a lot of tries in it, though.
Yep, I agree. And at the West Tigers, one guy who could score one is Makasini, who's been much talked about as a young gun coming through. Still at school, he's at Newington College, 18 years old. So have a look out for him on the wing. Hopefully it doesn't go too well to stuff up his price for next season. But it'll be good to watch him run around after all the hype. On to the Doggies v the Sharks. Doggies look... Well, they're basically full strength except for Kiraz. No resting here. I'll put you on the spot. Who is the best replacement for Kiraz?
Yes, I don't mind Philip Sammy, maybe. I feel like if Jaden Campbell does go here, maybe he puts him over for a...
He was out last week.
Yeah.
So, yeah, carrying a bit of an injury. So.
Not too sure what it was. Maybe look into it a bit closer. But, yeah, I feel like if he's playing, though... Like, if it's the last game of the year and he's not right, there's no need to play him, so he's probably right to go.
For me, I'll be avoiding centre wing. I'm pretty happy with my centre wings. I can just bring Bo Firma into that position. I'll be concentrating on other positions with my other trade, namely fullback with Dylan Edwards or Keanu Kinney, someone like that. Is Kikau back? I actually didn't look. I think he is
back, yeah.
Which is good news for a lot of super coaches. Sharkies, so they got Trindle in doubt. He has been named. But this could be, is it good or bad news for Hines if he gets ruled out?
It's great. It's great news for Hines.
Yeah,
I think we've waited for this for a matchup without Trindle, and we might get it, hopefully.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be against a strong dog side, though. So
yeah, that's true.
That's the awkward part.
Blake Brayley's popular again this week as well, which makes absolute sense. Dolphins v the Raiders, so Herbie Farnworth, you'll have to wait until later in the week to make that trade. Unfortunately, he's been named on the extended bench.
If you didn't want to bring him in, there's definitely other guys in that side that if he doesn't play, you could target instead.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like Isaiah Katoa,
Yeah, even
Sarko.
Hammer's hasn't been killing it on the scoreboard, but with the eye test, he can really turn it on if he scores quite a few tries.
Oh, and Trey Fuller as well, up against a team that's
only
had 10 changes.
Flex and
only a fullback, yeah. On to the Raiders, so as I mentioned, there's 7 players rested, technically, and 3 of them are out injured. One of those is Ethan Strange, who's been going really well recently. On to the Eels. I've got Lomax down as a potential captain in the final game of the round. I like that, up against the Knights, who, let's face it, the season's over, the coach is gone. They don't have a great deal to play for. They're just counting down to Mad Monday, which will start late on Sunday for them.
Their defensively bad side is the other side, though, which I'm concerned about. So I think Josh
Marju's side.
Marju's side is actually pretty good. It's Dom Young's side that leaks a lot of tries. So I think Josh Adokar is probably in for a field day as well.
The right wing Knights have conceded 14 tries, and the left wing they've only conceded 8. So they've conceded 18 to prop. So it doesn't help us with trying to replace thingy. But yeah, I was kind of looking at Adokar too, thinking he's that guy that can just sort of sneakily have hat tricks and stuff. But the try maps aren't suggesting it, so I don't know.
Is that right? Are you sure?
So yeah, it's going with the try maps.
Mulatalo scored 3 last week on that side.
Maybe it's not updated, but it was 8 prior
okay.
to last week at least. They'd only put it to 11 max, but still not heaps.
I feel like we've had this before where you've pulled out.
He's correcting my
then
stats,
got
now I'm correcting his
corrected later on.
stats.
Oh yeah, I actually corrected him, and I was wrong. So we found out later, and
At least I'm looking at information when I'm actually correcting
Yeah.
it. So.
And of course, on the buy is the Cowboys. So Drinkwater did and Purdue, etc. Sell them if you can. Big thanks to the former champ.
Yep.
I'm sorry, the 2021 champ. Former champ sounds like a complete insult. 2021 champ Tim Moodie.
Yesterday's
Brandon
hero.
Savage from the SC
Thank you.
Experience. We'll catch you for the preview podcast tomorrow. See you then.